What's up, guys? Welcome back to today's video. Today we'll be talking about how dating personally changed my life. I'm so thankful to the whole idea and concept of dating because it forced me to embark on this journey and to develop into the man I am today. I learned a lot of valuable lessons along the way. I remember the reason why I even got into dating was I wanted love, wanted intimacy, right? I don't want to say it was for necessarily the right reasons. It's kind of for toxic ideas. Was I lacked this love that my mom didn't give me because she was working all the time, and I wanted to experience love with another person. And I think this journey really started when I was early on. Was you like a girl? How do you get the girl to like you? How do you make her your girlfriend? It was simple concepts like this, right? Of just running around and having cooties and having like Valentine's Day and saying I like you and doing every single mistake possible in order to learn. Embarking on the journey of dating was quite arduous. It's probably the hardest thing I have ever had to endure because you're putting your personal reputation along the line and you're facing consistent rejection, which destroys your self-esteem, especially when you are younger. None of us like to put ourselves on the line and get rejected and say you are not good enough, you're not hot enough. And along the way, of course, I dealt with criticism, a little bit of racism. An example, girls would say, I can't date you because you're Asian and you look like a monkey. That is a little background of stuff like that. And having girls say we are just too different despite having no reasonable explanation. But then you start to realize they shit talk you behind your back and be like, I can't date him because he's too Asian. It's gross. He's not masculine enough. Stuff like that. And I really am thankful for their journey because it allowed me to develop thicker skin, a better idea of who I am, what I stand for, as well as figuring out what I want in my life. Dating was never easy for me. Well, I got really good at it due to the skill sets that I have collected over my experience. Getting started was the hardest part. Was how do you even communicate with a girl? How do you get a girl to like you? So your natural tendency, your natural thought would be, I want to be your friend. Therefore, as her friend, eventually she'll start to recognize and realize that I am the best person ever. So taking the friend zone route didn't really help. Okay, that led to heartbreak because you are investing your time and energy in a girl who will never see you as a potential partner. So I went that path. That never worked. As well as just randomly approaching people and just kind of butchering my interactions and realize, approaching it probably isn't the best way. And realize I need to develop a legitimate socials group and a social network and a great life in itself. I have to become better. And eventually, while it was an egotistical idea that I wanted to get girls, therefore I should get better, get in shape, and do these things for the woman, eventually that shifted the idea of like I'm doing it for myself because I want to get better. And I think realizing that women are simply human beings and we don't need to pedestalize them. And the fact that you don't have them or ever experienced a girlfriend doesn't mean they're better than you. It's just the fact that you haven't experienced it. It's not because they're superior. It just means that you've never been presented the opportunity, but the opportunity may come. And it's funny because we place our pride and our self-worth upon what girls think about us, which is a very normal, healthy thing. Is if you didn't get the love and self-esteem from your parents, you're going to put all your eggs in one basket and be like, love me, determine my worth. Then when you get shot down, you go into a spiral of depression, anxiety, you develop fear of women. So I'd like to say that if you're able to overcome the obstacles and realize it is challenging, you change in the process. When I started on this journey of self-development when I was 14, it's been 11 years, I have changed dramatically. I used to be a nervous wreck where I was like, I don't believe in what I'm saying. I should just talk about her, ask her questions, and be a people pleaser. But now I'm like okay in myself. It's almost as if the energy has settled because you learn, right? But the more you try to fake stuff, fake who you are, you only attract people you don't want. And while who you are is a dynamic concept, becoming the best version of yourself possible by exhibiting confidence, courage, masculinity, humor, love, empathy, these all make a great partner. But you have to become properly socialized. I realized I was not properly socialized at all. Growing up, I played a lot of RuneScape. I was isolated. So I was really behind when it came to social cues. So I made a promise to myself that I will do whatever it takes to enmesh myself, to entangle with people so I can become social. I'm going to get properly socialized the hard way. And while the initial journey almost made me quit, I'm thankful that I went through it. Because if you're able to get through and overcome these obstacles and not allow the negativity, nihilistic pessimism in modern day dating impact you, and remaining quote unquote hopeful, like what does hopeful actually mean is living a great life. I realized that the beliefs that you have about women and your friends, you naturally attract it. And I can't really say scientifically how that works, but when I made a mind shift of saying life is beautiful, my life is beautiful, I have a lot to value and a lot to offer, naturally opportunities were presented to me. And it was upon me to approach and open a conversation with people who became really good friends. And therefore, when I became really good friends with them, I was introduced to women, right? And therefore, my dating life just naturally happened. And while there's a lot of bad content online telling you to go approach and do things like, look, you should be able to approach a woman. You should be able to have a conversation. You should be able to be at ease when talking to someone. You should be able to look at them in the eye, right? You should be able to add value and be a conversationalist. Develop the art and appreciation of having and maintaining a conversation with another human being. But with all of that, dating has changed my life. The man I became, I would have never imagined that was possible. My personality has developed even further. And just the rich experiences that I experience on a day-to-day basis is so great. Having someone that loves you, in this case my fiance, really changes the way you operate. When you are being properly loved and you have someone to love in a healthy manner without letting your trauma interfere, you are able to grow so much. You're able to be at peace. You go from survival to existing to enjoying. But if you're in the survival mode of never being loved, I have to do everything for approval and attention, that's not a really positive, abundant mentality. You're wasting so much energy by protecting yourself. Once you're able to, quote unquote, be honest, be vulnerable at times with your partner, as well as lead in the relationship, be the dominant masculine one, doors have opened. The type of friends that I have in my life now is the best I've ever had. It's almost as if I have been finally found. I found a group of people that truly love me for who I am. But the thing is, I had to embark on this journey to smooth out the rough edges, smooth out the quirks that weren't socially appropriate. Not necessarily change who I am in the fundamental core, but there's some odd gestures, shyness, jitteriness, right? Some quirks that were kind of really awkward. That isn't smoothed out by enmeshing myself in social interactions. But the funny thing is, once you have a great partner, it's not like everything necessarily gets better. That mindset was there prior to me dating Hadley. I noticed I was living a great, abundant life, and naturally having someone come in your life makes sense. It only gets richer. And the thing is, I get so much more creativity out of life now. When you are in a relationship or you are seeing and courting, you feel alive. The idea that you have the abundance of dating, that if you don't like a person that you're dating, that you can leave and you can go find another partner. That abundance, that mentality saves you from staying and committing to a really toxic relationship that will take years off your life. There is no point in that. Because a lot of us fear, right? We get a girl, we go on a date, and we fear losing them so much. By fearing, we self-sabotaging it. We self-sabotage it. We don't realize what there is more in life. You don't know what there is. You don't know if the next relationship will be better than the one you have now. There's no way possible. But I'd say relationships tend to get better as you evolve, as you grow. And if they get worse, it means you are on the decline, and that's your own responsibility. But the richness and fullness that I experience, I'm really thankful to dating. While it is the hardest thing I have personally done, right? It has helped me in my career, helped me in my personal relationships, helped fix my relationships with my mom and brother, my family, as well as former friends and new friends. Because there's this simple idea that I wanted to be loved. I never got the love in my childhood. Eventually, I had to create it myself, and it showed that I am capable of being loved for who I am and not posing or faking my personality or being a nice guy. A lot of us adapt the nice concept, being a nice person, because we need to do this to get the result we want. We change our personality by being nice because it's the only way to get the approval and attention. But realize this, you have to be capable of being an asshole sometimes. If you're an asshole choosing to be nice, that is the difference. That's the beauty, because you want to be nice. You want to share. So dating, while it's a headache for all of us, especially in 2023, let alone the past 5-10 years with the rise of social media. Yeah, it's bad. Fine. But the fact is, I know a lot of successful relationships around the age of 18 to 35, and it's still possible. I think the idea and concept is when you go online, you go on Instagram, go on YouTube, of course you see horror stories. Because the successful people don't go on Reddit. They don't go on YouTube talking about how great their life is. They have no need for that because they're just simply living their life in their privacy of their own world. And that's the most beautiful thing. So I guess it could be a confirmation bias. If you want to think the world's evil and dating is doomed, fine. Sure, you can go find examples of that. Do I think dating is harder than general now? Yeah. But it doesn't mean that successful relationships still don't happen. While those are more rare, it could be you. There are a lot of people who don't use social media or subscribe to these modern notions of dating. If you want to talk about this further, please email me at bedroomtalksconsult@gmail.com. And I really want to say thank you to my clients. You guys have changed my life and given me a platform to voice my ideas and have an impact on the world. It is the most rewarding thing possible. And thank you to the clients who support me because it wouldn't be possible without you guys. Follow me on Instagram at m.t20 to see what I'm up to. As always, I wish you the best. Namaste. Peace out.